Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
I want to know what you think about the Super Bowl. Yeah.
It's the teams. Like if you said a couple of months ago that it's going to be Philadelphia and Kansas City, no one has a problem with this. No one has a problem with Philadelphia. Easily the most consistent team in the NFC. They're loaded at almost every position. They're well coached. Their quarterback is still. I mean, Jalen Hurts is still getting better. He's still and look. If anything we've learned about talking about quarterbacks is it's a learning process. And so at 24, he's got a long way to go. We look at Patrick Mahomes as this big, wily veteran. He's 27. You know, that's just how good Patrick was early. At the end of the day, I think because of the defensive side of the ball, I think you're going to see a tight game, but I think I'm thinking that the Eagles probably do win this game. I mean, I like Kansas City. I would have obviously loved to have seen the Bengals, but quite frankly, you know, the teams that have been, and the teams that have been coached the best, Rod, have moved on. I think a lot of times there has been similarities in some of the matchups that we see on these teams, but the better coach has done a better job on that day, and those two teams are in the Super Bowl. They've got a lot of elements. There's a lot of weapons out there, but I think because of that consistency on defense, I think you're going to see a tight Eagles win, but it's going to be a good game. You know, sometimes we just hope and pray we're going to see something magical. In the CFL, sometimes over the years, we got spoiled with these crazy finals. It's what the CFL has for years. We've bragged about as fans that they've done best. But lately, I think the NFL's put on some pretty good entertainment, and this will not fall short.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show. Now,
So this was my weekend, by the way. This is why I'm so happy. I bought goalie equipment from Canadian Tire, street hockey gear.
The one question I have, were you playing with a rubber puck at least?
No, of course not.
You had street hockey pads on and no protection other than
I wasn't even wearing a can.
how about that?
And I went to stack my pads. I'm like, whoa, I got nothing on down here. I never thought that I would be leaving my pins. Seriously.
Wow.
And no mask.
talk about putting them on the table.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It sure is. Hi, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the RP Show for a fabulous Football Friday, live from the Beach House in Pompano Beach, Florida, and on the Friday of NHL All-Star festivities. Oh, doggy. What a morning and a day it's already been as we bring in from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle, Darren Moose Dupont. He's here for a good time, not a long time, and I hope we don't have to see you again, Moose, after this segment. You know why? That will mean that we've gone technically fine for the next 2 hours. We've got live guests coming up down here at the Beach House. Rich Sutter, 13-year NHL veteran, friend of the show, needs no introduction. Andrew Nowacki, 8-year CFL wide receiver with the Edmonton Eskimos, product of Stony Creek, Ontario. He's going to be with us live at the Beach House. And Mark Gundry, you don't know him, but you will. He's a football guy from the Chris Jones sect. He's a disciple of Chris Jones. He's going to be with us later on today. And can I say this, Moose, before I bring you in and get your thoughts and get rolling with a quick six? The boys flying the Millennium Falcon, hopefully their heart rates have stabilized. These are the kinds of days that make you feel alive, boys. Right? Like Clark, reach over and just punch Jordan in the shoulder and make sure that he's good. Because up until 10 minutes ago, we weren't sure that we were even going to be on the air. We've done tons of shows from here, but for whatever reason, we had a connection issue. But now we don't. So, Moose, are you ready for the weekend? What has you excited?
I'm ready, and don't worry, I'll be on call for the next 2 hours. So if you need me, boys, ring me. I'll be ready, and I'll be watching. But, no, I'm excited for the weekend. The weather's going to warm up here a little bit. It's not going to be 30 degrees. But I'll be in front of my TV watching the All-Star festivities and the Pro Bowl, and it's just going to be fantastic.
I know you don't want to hear this, but this is the hottest day since we've been doing shows from here, which incidentally is almost a year and a half. It's 31 Celsius. They're talking about 90 Fahrenheit and hot. And here's the thing. I get it. I respect it. Jordan and Clark, to a degree, they're worried about the shadows and the lighting. Somewhere along the way, they got the mistaken impression that we're perfect. We ain't perfect. here on the RP show. But I love that they want to be. And the coolest thing, I don't know how many shows I could go back because I have it all tracked, as you know. I could go back and see how many shows we've done here from the Beach House, but here's the cool thing. I know all the staff, Nina and Rod and Ian and obviously Thad, the manager. I come in here and they're like, oh, hey, Rod, the Canadian celebrity's here. And I'm like, Dan Aykroyd's here? Jim Carrey's here? Oh, they all have it built up. Something gets a radio show. Something gets a TV show. Something gets a YouTube show. It's all those things. And we're live. And can you hit the quick six show horn, Director Jordan, and we'll get down to business. Please and thank you.
Bob's your uncle.
I know there's a bit of a shadow. This ocean over here, incidentally, is real. That's not a green screen. I could throw a rock in it right now if you wanted to. That's the Atlantic Ocean. You got to come down and check it out. Number one, the NHL All-Star festivities kick off tonight in Sunrise, Florida with a skills competition. The 4 returning events are fastest skater, hardest shot, the breakaway challenge, and accuracy shooting. The 3 new ones will be the 10D tandem, splash shot, and pitch and puck. And then Saturday, a 3-on-3 tournament featuring a team from each of the NHL's 4 divisions is set. All at FLA Live Arena. So, clearly I'm excited, Moose. What's got you excited? What's the buzz? What are you hearing there in the Great White North about All-Star Weekend?
Skills comp is what I'm most excited for. That's always my favorite part of the whole thing. They have fun. But what I hope is I want them to be competitive. Because I really want to know who's the fastest. I want to know who's got the most accurate shot. I want to know all that stuff. And the players, want to show off and do well. So I'm excited for tonight. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
At this moment, I don't have viewer comments up coming in from YouTube nor the text line. It's just Moose and I. So if you have a burning desire to share, save it. Well, let's have a little bit of talk before we move on to the NFL Pro Bowl, because it opened last night in the skills. 902-518-33 is the number to reach us. Do you have any questions, Moose? Because here's the fun thing. My guy, Eric, he's a gym buddy of mine. Ran into him this morning in Brooklyn Water Bagel. And he was saying, Rod, I know you're a bit of a hockey guy. You do something with hockey. So do you go to the hockey games? I'm like, Eric, I go to every Panthers game, man. Every game. They treat me like royalty. And he goes, so they have this stick thing tonight, this stick contest? I'm like, skills competition, Eric. Skills. So they kind of know something's going on.
Yeah.
But they don't really know. Like the hockey fans, they got hockey fans here, man. They jammed. You saw the video from the ice den the other night. But they don't really know. So,
I know.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, not really. I mean, I totally would understand that. This is going to be a fun way. I hope it's packed. Fun way to get everybody involved and just have some fun around the game and build that fan base up a little bit. But I guess the question is, if the players started trickling into town, obviously they have. What's the scene like down there in terms of the celebrity aspect of All-Star Weekend?
Breaking news. I've got audience comments, by the way. So I'll ask you that. Kevin the Medium writes in and says, Moose has his weekend hair in great shape. So I just wanted to point that out. I do have the viewer comments. What's the scene? Well, I mentioned the alumni game. I didn't go down to the beach in Media Day. I didn't go down to Media Day on Thursday. Pacing myself. Been to a lot of this stuff, man. I don't need to jump in head first to everything, But the players are having a great time. When I was driving to the gym this morning, I brought my NHL radio with me down here. So I was listening to Sirius XM NHL radio, Steve Koulias, Scott Laughlin and the boys, and they had Elias Pedersen on. They had Nick Suzuki on. The guys are just having a blast. It's fun. I guess that's the thing before I move on to the football. It's not about hockey, or it's not about the game, because these were the fun interviews. I really enjoyed listening to Nick Suzuki, the captain of the Montreal Canadiens, talk about the Ontario Stars that he followed growing up, the Drew Dowdys he mentioned, and I think he said Steve Stamkos. It's not, what did you think about your 5-on-5 play? What did you think about your top 4 defensemen? I get mind-numbed on those interviews, man. And I'm a fan. This was about, what are your All-Star memories? What are you enjoying about being in South Florida? What are you expecting this weekend? Do you know what I mean? And so when they say it's not about the game, I get it. I just think those minutia details of hockey that we get all caught up in the media, specifically in Canada, it wears me out. You?
Yeah, there's a time and place. If we're in the middle of a playoff series or in the middle of a big weekend of games, I want to talk about the games. Like if you're talking about a team you're playing against for a playoff position or something, that matters. And there's Richie over your shoulder. I love it. And,
yeah.
Hi, Rich.
Look at this.
We're on the air, but hi.
He said hi. Darren said hi. We're on the air.
Hey, Darren, how are you? I'll get out of the way.
I'm great.
How about that?
Yep.
He made it.
So,
he made it.
So we
Okay.
get a really good idea. We get a really good idea of what All-Star Weekend is, and this is hockey. Just a bunch of guys getting together, and this is cool. Like, I like that happened because that's what's really cool about this show is that, you never know who's just going to show up or what's going to happen. And I love that Richie just popped in, said hi, and popped out. You wouldn't do that on Fox or on TSN or on Sport. Like, this is kind of cool.
That's why we love it. And he's like, do you have a phone charger? No, I don't. I forgot mine. Anyways, it is a football Friday. We're not going to get to everything. Trust me, we're not. The poll question today for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center, let's throw it out now. They've got dealerships all across the prairies and the state of California. Do you think Tom Brady will stay retired? It's a simple yes or no question. And I'm saying yes. That's my vote. I just threw it up on Twitter before the show. I'm not even sure if it's made YouTube yet. Do you think Tom Brady will stay unretired? A quick vote from you, Darren, before we move on to Pro Bowl stuff.
Yes. He'll stay retired. I think he will.
Okay. So to, I guess, what would now be point 3. Las Vegas quarterback Derek Carr scored an event-high 31 points in the precision passing contest of the Pro Bowl skills competitions Thursday night to give the AFC an early 9-3 lead over the NFC. Carr, in familiar territory in Vegas, said he will not extend the February 15th deadline to help facilitate a trade from Las Vegas. The Raiders must trade or release the quarterback by that date, or Carr's contract will become guaranteed, and Las Vegas will have to pay him $40.4 million over the next 2 years. But his performance during the two-day competitions boosted the AFC, with each event counting as 3 points. The AFC also won the lightning round, a series of competitions that included a water balloon toss and long drive contest, and the NFC got on the scoreboard by winning the dodgeball tournament. The NFL changed the Pro Bowl format this year, replacing the traditional All-Star game with a flag football contest and series of other skills events. 4 skills events take place Sunday at Allegiant Stadium, and those also will be 3 points each. So I didn't see any of that last night. I missed it because I was in front of my television watching NFL Network and analysis from Dan Orlovsky and these guys. Maybe I had it on the wrong channel. Did you watch any of it?
A little bit, and I think ESPN had it. And I saw, Derek Carr afterwards. He was chatting with Ryan Clark, and Ryan Clark was asking him, "You've had a lot of success here in Vegas, thrown a lot of touchdowns, but have you ever had a night where you've had this much success?" And Derek Carr says, "Nope, I haven't, and that's probably why I'm never going to play here again, because I haven't been as good as I am today." And he had some fun with it, and it was fun. And now they're, moved the conversation to Derek Carr and his contract and things like that. And the latest on the networks this morning was that there's some anticipation that Derek Carr might be released prior to the Pro Bowl, because if he gets hurt in the Pro Bowl, all of a sudden that really hurts the chances of moving him and getting out of that contract. So there could be some Derek Carr watch happening over the next 48 to 72 hours.
By the way, from our viewers, Jason in Red Deer watching, he said, Rich Sutter with the John Frenzy-esque on-set etiquette. Remember that one? Wayne in Victoria, BC says, absolutely, it looks very nice at the beach house. What do you think of this place, Richie? Nice, hey? I'll wait till he comes on. He's squishing his lime in his drink, and his lemonade. Gotcha. Ryan in New York State. Good day, Rod. It is absolutely frigid in upstate New York. I'll take your word for it. Ryan in Saratoga, New York. Regarding that NFL skills competition last night, John in Edmonton says it wasn't broadcast, Rod. I've never heard John's voice, but I feel like that's what his voice would sound like. It wasn't broadcast, Rod. And John also wants to know, Rod, your thoughts on the 3 new events for the NHL skills competition. I got to say this, and everybody get your questions in for Rich when he joins. He's the NHL veteran of 13 years. I don't really know what we're walking into tonight at FLA Live Arena. I haven't really looked into it. Trying to get on the air here and stop Jordan from having a heart attack and stay on top of the NFL stuff. I don't really know what it's going to be. I know it's going to be fastest skater. I remember watching it last year from Las Vegas thinking that Connor McDavid was going to win it, and he didn't. Jordan Kyrou did from the St. Louis Blues. I'll find out a little later on, Darren. You know how I roll. I'll get this show taken care of, and then I might start thinking about what I'm going to watch tonight at the skills competition. But how about you? How would you answer that?
Yeah, I don't know about the new events. I'm going to have to wait and see. So I'll reserve judgment on what to expect from those new events. My mind's starting now, and just in this moment as you're bringing that up, I'm like, yeah, I wonder, who's going to win the hardest shot? Who's going to win the fastest skater? And who's going to win the accuracy? And I don't really know yet. I'm with you. I'm going to need a little bit of time. Maybe this afternoon I'll start putting some names in my head.
Yeah, John Ohm in Winnipeg says, I like how the NHL mixes it up at the All-Star game. Why not? Go for it. If you noticed, all the leagues are. You know, that's pretty clearly they don't want to play a game anymore. And as far as the 3-on-3, I don't know if I'm even going to go on Saturday. I swear. I don't even know if I'm going to go. This tonight is what I'm most excited about. If I wanted to watch 3-on-3 hockey, don't worry about the camera. If I wanted to watch 3-on-3 hockey, I would go to the Cooperators Arena. I would go to the Panthers. I would go to the Flames Community Arena. Like, I don't care about watching a bunch of guys play shinny. But tonight should be fun. And that's just a me thing. We just mentioned the NFL skills competition. So they're having golf, and they're having... What are they? I don't even know what they're having tonight.
Dodgeball and the
you're not old enough, Darren.
Football.
Dodgeball, bad for football. Yeah, like it's dumb, really. But we'll watch it anyways. And Rich is old enough to remember when we were kids. He's not that much older than me. Remember Showdown? Hockey Night in Canada, Showdown? Yeah. Mike Palmatier, Daryl Sittler. They taped these things like in the summertime. And then they aired them in between periods on Hockey Night in Canada, and we're like breakaway shooting and shooting targets, and they were doing it in the 70s. Okay, this isn't breaking ground here. They've just brought it back, and they don't want anybody to get hurt. Isn't that why this has all come? That's why we are where we are, or why did we get away from actual games in 30 seconds or less?
Yeah, I think so, about getting hurt and about the competitiveness of it. What can we put these players in where they can be really competitive but not worry about getting hurt or embarrassed or anything like that? So I think that's kind of why we're here.
Well, Moose, and it all turned out nice again so far. And John in Edmonton has pointed out that indeed Rod's having issues, but it's only because it's like, again, running across the white mud in the middle of rush hour. Zing, 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 zing. Live location broadcast, that's the way it is. So, Moose, thank you. You have a great weekend.
You bet. Enjoy. Say hi to everybody for me.
I will. Rich Sutter coming up next. Andrew Nowacki, former Edmonton Eskimos wide receiver in hour 2, and Mark Gundry. It is the RP Show live from the Beach House in Pompano Beach, Florida, on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 99.1 FM WQEE.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. Great news, factory credits are back. That means massive savings on every new vehicle. We have over 100 GMC Sierras available, and they're all priced to move. Looking for a used vehicle? You gotta check out our all makes, all models, GM certified pre-owned inventory. Plus, don't pay for 90 days on all new and used vehicles. There's never been a better time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. CapitalGMC.ca.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
There you go. The scene of the crime tonight. The All-Star Skills Competition goes there. FLA Live Arena, Sunrise, Florida. We are live from the beautiful beach house in Pompano Beach, Florida, and he made it in. 13-year NHL veteran, a jack of all trades. I don't know, television broadcaster. What can't you do, Rich Sutter?
Well, it's not what I can do. It's what I still want to do. And hopefully, well, you know what? Just stay in the game. It's been my life. It's taken care of me very well. It's been kind of really good also to get a break and really enjoy my beautiful family at home. And but to be able to come down here and network a little bit, I'm going to spend some time with the alumni group and with the OFX group that I'm currently doing some work for. It's been fantastic. And I told you, Rod, one day I was going to get here.
That's right, and you did. Well, you're a man of your word.
And here we are.
Yeah. When he walked in, I said, "Are you having fun, Rich, this week?" And he said, "No." How could you?
No. And actually, I will say, last night was awesome. I had a nice, quiet night. Got back to the hotel after a long day of meetings and a little bit of a speaking engagement. And just got back to town, went for a good walk, and had dinner in the hotel. Didn't even really go anywhere, so it was really nice and quiet.
Good. Well, it's going to pick up this weekend, tonight, the skills competition, and the 3-on-3 game tomorrow. Yeah. We'll get to the business talk and some of the stuff for why you're here, but the fans want to know your thoughts on the format and maybe where this thing's come from the 80s in the Sutter Brothers' heyday.
It's changed, there's no doubt. Obviously, there's not as much seriousness to this in terms of this became a much more fan-friendly affair, which is probably what it should be. Obviously, you're always going to be a little bit disappointed because there's always some of the guys that have had outstanding seasons, Rod, that have had injuries and aren't able to come. And Tage Thompson in particular would have been awesome to have him here. But it's all about getting down here, having some fun. It's for the fans.
Yes.
Hopefully there'll be a great turnout here tonight and tomorrow at sunrise. It's all about coming down here and letting everyone enjoy it. And what an awesome place to do. I came up from the hotel to here just now, and all along the beach,
It's busy, isn't it?
All the stuff they got going on with the festivities and the festival today with the NHL. It's fantastic, and people everywhere. It's kind of cool you're driving up along the beach here, and you see everybody in hockey jerseys from all over the map. So it's really awesome.
In 31 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, awesome.
Right? And the other thing is, too, I got a lot of friends, I've been here over a year now. I got a lot of friends that are season ticket holders for the Panthers, and they're upset. Thanks, Rod. They're upset that they got moved out of their lower bowl tickets into the upper bowl. They said, the Mucky Mucks have got the lower bowl tickets, all the sponsors. I'm like, welcome to big time sports, baby.
Welcome to money, baby. And this is what it's all about where we're at in today's age in sports. And sponsors, these things don't happen without great sponsors, great sponsorships, great people, and money talks. And that's what happens.
Now, before we look ahead, let's look back to the alumni game Wednesday night, which you could have played in, you coached. This is the thing. I said to the media around here, so that's what you want to go to. That's where all the hockey people are going to be. That's going to be the most fun. And it was.
It was a lot of fun. It was really good to go on someone's behalf and represent someone, not just the alumni group, which was the bonus. But to be able to see all the guys and just so reconnect with everyone. And we're a unique group, Rod, where it doesn't matter how much time you're away from each other or from one another. You reconnect in a hurry. You pick up just kind of where you left off. And, Scotty Tinkler of the Panthers, the NHL alumni group, did a tremendous job 2 nights ago. The building was sold out. So many guys to see. It was just a lot of fun. And it was just, I'm glad I made it.
I'm glad you did too. From the audience, Robert Starr says, Roddy, beautiful shirt, love it. Thank you. Sunday Swagger. That's the line. Look him up on Instagram, Sunday Swagger. How about this? Nobody knew who the goalies were. I would assume at some point you found out who they were, because I made it my mission to find out. Turned out it was a couple of guys they grabbed. Wasn't NHL alumni.
They were pretty good too,
Define pretty good.
There was a lot of 140 grade A scoring chances on each side. So the best thing about it was, the funny thing about it, I was walking off after with Jeff Chikrin and Patrick Marleau, and the goalie on the losing team walked by right in front of us. We kind of followed him down the hall. I looked at Patty and Jeff, and I said, those two, that guy didn't even break us. Look, he's having got a beat of sweat on him. I thought there was a second goalie standing on the bench.
Nope.
They said, no, it was him. I said, he gave up 15 goals, and look, I said, he got a beat of sweat on him going.
Didn't even sweat, no. But I was watching the game with Ulf Samuelsson. That's where I was when you were trying to get a hold of me. And I'm like, Ulfie, who is that guy? He goes, I don't know. He goes, just some guy they grabbed, I guess. And I guess when you put it that way, he probably had 150 shots. So that's a pretty good save percentage.
Yeah, it was. And it was, I'm glad you got to see Ulfie. Ulfie and I were together in Arizona with the Phoenix team before they switched names. But great human being. It was awesome to see him and have a visit with him as well. So even though there weren't guys there were guys, everyone that was playing, there was also a few guys around that were not playing, and it was good to see them as well.
Well, I want to say the Florida hockey community was there the other night, and that's longtime Panthers season ticket holders, parents who've got kids playing minor hockey, Panthers alum that weren't playing, NHL alum, and sponsors. It was a great night. Hey? The barn was full.
Ron, the greatest thing about it too is that the conversation after inside the locker room when things quieted down was the amount of guys that have made their homes here. The new hockey rinks that have sprouted up in the area, the big new one over in Boca, and how engaged these ex-players are in the community with supporting minor hockey, teaching and coaching the hockey kids here. it's only a matter of time before we start seeing someone sprout out from this area, much like what we saw when the alumni and the guys got involved in the St. Louis area. So it's going to be fun to watch this area for the next few years.
Jack Hughes is the first Florida-born player to play in an All-Star game. It's coming.
Yes. I think what's also coming, like I said, is going to be a Florida-raised minor hockey player. Will come out of here too.
Oh yeah, absolutely, it's coming. Thank you, sir. Isn't he the best?
Yeah.
His name's Rod. Very easy to remember.
Must take care of you, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, and I take care of him. From the viewers, John in Winnipeg says, Rich Sutter still looks like he could play. Look at the pipes.
You know what? I take care of myself. I have a heck of a time trying to keep up with my beautiful wife, Rhonda. She loves her yoga and her walks and her hiking and her snowshoeing, and she keeps me going, and it's been awesome.
I got to ask you a question. Interject. By the way, Rich will answer the audience questions. He loves doing it. And my brother Lee texted me the other day and said, when you and I were out for wings, he goes, ask Rich what he thinks of Connor Bedard. And I said, he thinks the same as everybody thinks. He's unbelievable. But since I got you here, how would you answer? What do you think of Connor Bedard?
He continues, I think, to go beyond probably individuals' expectations. And the run he's on right now, carrying that hockey team in Regina, is phenomenal. I just think that he's going to be a special player. You know, he's so different than some of the other stars that we got in our game, Rod. You know, he's not Connor, as in McDavid. He's not Leon. He's not some of the other real big guys. He's not Jack Hughes. I like him a lot too. Kind of a bit of a clone of Sidney. You know, not a real big guy, but very strong and stocky. Sees the game at such a different level from an IQ standpoint. His ability to not just create, but to also score himself with his shot. His awareness on the ice. You know, look, this kid is going to be a special player. He's not going to be that dynamic, you know, speed guy like Connor is, but he's going to bring such another other level of game to our league.
17,223 showed up in the Saddle Dome the other night for that game that I left to go home and watch, and he scores his 44th of the year in the game. I don't know if you saw the goal.
Yeah, I did. And then the shootout winner.
And then the shootout winner, he always answers the bell, Rich, always rises to the occasion. In the NHL, what do you think he's capable of? Because, you know, the expectations are going to be ridiculous.
Well, I think people just need to be a little bit careful about you know, I think you need to temper the expectations, especially early, Rod, because, look, and this is not a knock on anyone who's drafting 1, 2, 3, or 4, or whatever the number is going to be in terms of, you know, how these teams lay out in terms of the lottery, but you know, he's a different guy in terms of Connor with the dynamic part of his game in terms of and all that stuff, but he's going to need to be surrounded by strong individuals, not just in the locker room, but within the organization. He's going to have to play with good players, and when you're drafting first overall, you know, you're there for a reason. That's not a disrespectful thing. It's just that, you know, either teams had a bad year,
bad team,
or they've had a tough year and they fell. But the funny thing about this game, when you add a player like him and you add 2 or 3 solid veterans around him with a good source of leadership within the group, Rod, we're finding out in today's game you're never really that far from just jumping right into the pack.
We've got great questions from the audience, but we've got 2 minutes till the break, so I'll ask just one, and then we'll come back with more. Kevin in Airdrie, my good friend Kevin the Medium, says, Rich, which team did you enjoy playing on the most, and why is it Vancouver? LOL.
You know, honestly, you know, Vancouver was a special place at that stage of my career. I was really lucky, you know. It was maybe a little bit embarrassing when I look back at my career a few years ago, but, you know, the teams, you know, where I played at and how many places I played. But at the end of the day, do you know what? I look at it now as that it gave me an opportunity to expand my relationships with people around the National Hockey League, people around the league. And we had a lot of great places where we lived, where our children were born at in Vancouver, one in Vancouver, one in St. Louis. Look, the National Hockey League is a great place to be.
You're a to me, you're a Flyer. but some of the best photos of you are in a St. Louis uniform and great memories in Vancouver. They're all great. And you're in Tampa for what, 23 days? Not very long, right?
Yeah, that's the embarrassing one part of the career. That was an area, honest to God, Rod. When I look back on it, was an area where I really wanted to come and finish my career, have a strong finish. It was deserving to put my wife Rhonda and little ones in a beautiful place for the last part of my career. And unfortunately, with what some people tended to believe, which was 100% false, that were running the team at the time, it was a place that I wanted to endear myself to and thought long-term this could be a pretty cool opportunity. Also post-playing, that's just never, ever came to fruition.
Everything happens for a reason. Right?
Right or wrong, yeah.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that's not always right. We will be back with more of your questions. Rich Sutter with us. Andrew Nowacki, 8 years CFL. Great with the Edmonton Eskimos, Grey Cup champion. He's here, by the way. I don't know where he got to, but he's here. Mark Gundry as well. It's the RP Show live on Game Plus Television. We're live streaming on YouTube and on the radio, 99.1 FM, WQEE.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. Great news, factory credits are back. That means massive savings on every new vehicle. Take advantage of up to $7,000 in discounts on all remaining new 2022 F-150s. And rates are as low as 1.99% OAC. Looking for a used vehicle? You gotta check out our all makes, all models inventory. Plus, don't pay for 90 days on all new and used vehicles. There's never been a better time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. CapitalFordLincoln.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
That is the place tonight, FLA Live Arena. Beautiful facility, opened in the late 90s. It'll be sold right out tonight for the skills competition, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. And Sportsnet, Rich Sutter will be there, 13-year NHL veteran. But first, he's here with us at the Beach House, and he's doing business here NHL All-Star Week. Tell us about OFX, Rich.
OFX is a currency exchange company, world headquarters based out of Sydney, Australia, that I've done work with in the past in terms of, exchanging currency. And one thing led to another over the last few years that I thought it was really important that they got more engaged in North America, especially in the sports community. And one thing led to another with relationships around the league and with the league offices in New York to get them in front of the league. And one thing led to another where a presentation was given in Chicago that we did a lot of work with. The NHL signed a 5-year marketing agreement with the company, which has been fantastic. And here we are, representing ourselves at the All-Star game, and also spending all day yesterday with the NHL alumni and AGM meetings, and speaking there at the meetings on behalf of OFX. They are now our partner. We're now working on the NHL Coaches Association, hoping we're going to make some inroads there. And also at one point, hopefully, the players. And that's a big thing for me for the next 24 hours here.
It's OFX, and I've met the boss, Rich. Easy to remember. Rich and Rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, OFX. Very easy to remember.
They're just
good guys.
Yeah, him and Brian Grodin, who's been my main contact points with the company. These guys are great guys. Along with the people that are running OFX, and I really feel this is an awesome thing for the league and for the people all engaged and involved in our wonderful game.
Here's a funny one from Oleg in Winnipeg. He wants to know if it's true that your brother Daryl was photographed once smiling.
No, that's not true. He's been photographed many times smiling. Unfortunately, we live in a world that's called social media, that everyone always likes to throw out all the negative stuff. Yeah. And they always miss also the very important stuff where you see the other side of what Daryl really, truly is.
Oleg also said, well, again, I haven't seen that side of him that you talk about all the time, but the Flames staff would walk through fire for him and do it regularly. So that's
so you wonder why, right, Rod?
Why what?
Why they would walk through that.
Because of the kind of guy he is. I'm just saying, I don't know him that way.
Yeah.
Oleg goes on to say, serious question, Rich. He's in Winnipeg. He says, what do you think would have been the difference for the mid-'80s Jets against the Oilers and Flames? What were they missing?
Probably a little more grit. And I thought some of those games, I remember watching games when I was a young boy or growing up and watching, paid more attention to the playoffs. And, there was a lot of wild scoring games. And much
in
different
the playoffs.
Yeah, and I just think that, the ability to clamp down and play not just a little bit better defensively, but play a little bit harder, a little tougher.
Fair. That we've got viewers all over. It's fantastic. It makes my job easy because I don't have to ask the questions. They are.
Yeah.
Ted in Arizona says, Rich, when you're evaluating players, what would you consider the most important trait?
Well, I don't think there's just one most important trait. I think skating and the ability to be able to read the game, hockey IQ, to be able to think the game at such a high pace, the ability to read the game, and your skating, The name of the game now is, you look at these kids now, it's just not, it's skill, it's skating, it's hockey IQ, it's compete. There's all those things are so intertwined. Obviously, not everybody has all of them. ability to just be able to play hard on a day-to-day basis with your hockey IQ and skating. So there's lots of traits. You know, not everyone's perfect.
We could talk about that all day. John in Edmonton with another topic we could talk about all day says, Rich, what are your thoughts on teams tanking in the NHL to get Connor Bedard? Everybody's talking about it.
Well, you know, that's honestly, I think, Rod, it's kind of sad to hear that. I think it's so overblown. It's so, look, no one is tanking. Everybody, people earn jobs in this league and they lose their jobs even when they do a good job. And no one's gonna intentionally tank because then their job's in jeopardy. Everybody's here to win. Everybody cares about winning. You ask any player, you ask any coach, training staff, everybody, all they want to do is win and compete. And I'm quite confident every GM wants to do the same. It's just how the dominoes fall all the time, and I think we put way too much into it, especially from a media standpoint.
I don't understand why, because I've been in the game a long time too. I've never even heard of it happening. I don't understand why people think that it does. If you were caught doing it, what would the penalty be?
Well, I think, you know, I think if you're going to tank, and I might be incorrect in saying this, but if you're going to tank, I don't think it's going to come from your coaching staff. No, it's not. It's not from your guys that are trying to keep their jobs on the ice. Coaches are trying to keep their jobs. General managers are trying to keep their jobs. Owners want success. I don't think anything below or at the management group and lower. I mean, so I think it's such an overblown thing.
It's insulting.
And for anyone to think that we're all going to do or someone's going to do something intentionally the other way,
it's insulting. I
don't think that's possible.
David Limaker in Victoria, BC, longtime buddy of mine, watching on Game Plus TV, where we're carried on TELUS, channel 924. Hey, Rod, enjoy the sun. Really wish they would change up the accurate shot to see the players on the move taking the shots instead of standing still. No one takes shots like that in the game. Good point. A viewer, John in Edmonton, want to know your thoughts on this whole format, the skills in the 3-on-3. So how would you roll that all in? Answer it.
You know, honestly, they said there's going to be some different twists to the story tonight and how things are going to play out. We see what's going to happen on the beach here somewhere. And I mean, hey, it's Florida, right? So it's all about entertaining the fans, letting them all have fun. The best thing about it is that the NHL is listening to the fans about some of the things they might want. I think no matter what they do tonight, it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to see a lot of guys on the ice, probably with a lot of their little ones around the benches area and some of them on the ice. So I don't even know exactly what they're going to be doing tonight, but I know one thing, I'm looking forward to actually having the opportunity for my first time to be there.
Is that right? Mine too.
Yeah.
What a wonderful time to be here with you then for the first time ever. Do we have time? We have 90 seconds. We could answer a few more of these or comment about it. Randy in Winnipeg says Ovi does, i.e. shoots from a stationary position. Do you have thoughts on the actual skills, what they're going to be? The usual, right? The accuracy, the fastest skater. That's all kind of cool stuff.
It is, you know, and the best thing about it, you don't always get to see the guys you would think would be in that and get to be in that competition. I hear, you know, Connor might not be in the fastest skating one tonight. Is someone out there faster than Connor? Well, no one ever thought there was till Jordan Kyrou came along a year ago. So who knows? These guys are just here to have fun and roll with things and intertwine with each other and enjoy the weekend. Hopefully a lot of them got their families here. And, you know, again, it's all about the fans. And the NHL's done a hell of a job with it.
They always do.
Yes, they have.
They always do. One more segment with Rich Sutter when we come back. So get your questions in now. On the screen, 902-518-3033. We're live at the Beach House in Pompano Beach, Florida. A huge thank you to Thad. He always looks after us so well here at the Beach House. Coming up in hour 2, Andrew Nowacki and Mark Gundry. We're live on Game Plus Television. We're also live streaming on YouTube, and we're on the radio in Metro Atlanta, 99.1 FM WQEE.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casino dances.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. Great news, factory credits are back. That means massive savings on every new vehicle. Take advantage of up to $7,000 in discounts on all remaining new 2022 F-150s. And rates are as low as 1.99% OAC. Looking for a used vehicle? You gotta check out our all makes, all models inventory. Plus, don't pay for 90 days on all new and used vehicles. There's never been a better time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. CapitalFordLincoln.com.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Right?
We are from that place, FA Live Arena. One more segment with Rich Sutter. Thank you for sticking in. I know that we've had a few connection issues, but for the most part, they've been ironed out. 13-year NHL veteran. He's here representing OFX Currency Exchange Company and also the NHL alumni. I'm not quite done on that, Rich. Would you mind telling the folks what you're doing here with the NHL alumni and how important the association is?
Well, basically, you know, OFX is formed a partnership with the National Hockey League with Currency Exchange, which is huge for its owners and its teams. And my goal when I helped bring this on board was also to get it to my group in terms, I mean the alumni, the people who are living their everyday lives that are not quite getting paid. The NHL player today is getting paid, and just basically help everyone with the currency exchange to make a little bit extra money. It's a perfect opportunity to get this in front of them that they fully embraced this past August. It's been fun to get in front of attend the AGM meetings yesterday, which was a real eye-opener for me, Rod, in terms of just how far the Alumni Associations came, how terrific a job Glenn Healy, Kelly Chase, the whole group. The things that we got going on right now with mental and health awareness in the world today, and how engaged this group or our group in that area. And now wonderful.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. Great news, factory credits are back. That means massive savings on every new vehicle. Take advantage of up to $7,000 in discounts on all remaining new 2022 F-150s. And rates are as low as 1.99% OAC. Looking for a used vehicle? You gotta check out our all makes, all models inventory. Plus, don't pay for 90 days on all new and used vehicles. There's never been a better time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. CapitalFordLincoln.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
now.
So this was my weekend, by the way. This is why I'm so happy. I bought goalie equipment from Canadian Tire street hockey gear.
The one question I asked, were you playing with a rubber puck at least?
No, of course not.
You had street hockey pads on and no protection other than
I wasn't even wearing a can.
How about that?
And I went, stacked my pads. I'm like, whoa, I got nothing on down here. I never thought that I would be leaving my pins. Seriously.
Wow.
And no mask.
Talk about putting them on the table.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
All right, it's been that kind of day. Welcome, everybody, to the RP Show. Hour 2 coming in hot. We're live at the Beach House in Pompano Beach, Florida. And I can tell you that here's what happens. The joint's jumping. 610 people in this place, and it's jammed at lunch on a Friday because it's what we call peak season. Our next guest knows a little bit about that. I want to thank Rich Sutter for coming in hour 1, representing NHL alumni and OFX Currency and Change. Andrew Nowacki is no stranger to this show, our viewers, the Canadian Football League, NCAA. Drew, Happy New Year. I know it's February, but good to see you, brother.
Yep.
Good to see you.
Same to you.
I'm going to turn your mic up here. Come on, slide a little closer. I think we're good. It's humming this weekend down here. Have you noticed?
Busy.
Yes.
Busy, huh?
Yes. More than just peak season busy, though.
Yeah,
don't you
definitely.
think?
I run down the beach, and yesterday I saw the NHL festivities set up on Fort Lauderdale Beach, and I was wondering, it just escaped my mind, but yeah, it's a little busier than usual.
Well, again, we got back. I apologize that we lost the connection. Here's what I was trying to get to in my mind, and I blanked. When this place fills up, and we're running on Wi-Fi in here, sorry to tell you, sometimes it gets busy, you know what I mean? And I'm hoping people will roll up, but this place is jammed, man. It's the most banging club on the street.
Yeah, Pompano's, the whole beachfront has been redeveloped. The pier is busy, and all the restaurants up and down the beach. So big tourist attraction, locals, a ton of locals coming here. So it's fun. It's a real nice spot.
Now, Wikipedia is one thing, CFLopedia is a thing. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it or not. I'm sure you are. I could read off your resume, but would you mind telling our viewers and listeners your football resume, starting from your hometown, just where you played?
Hometown, Stony Creek, Ontario. Went to Cardinal Newman High School there. From there, I went and started college football in Arizona. Went to Scottsdale Community College. Finished at Murray State in Kentucky, and then ended up in Edmonton for 8 years. Played with the Eskimo now Elks from 2004 to 2011.
Won a Grey Cup.
Won a Grey Cup.
Yeah,
Sure
in 05?
05.
Yeah, okay. So there's the resume, and he's selling real estate here, selling sunshine here in Florida. Didn't you say that last time?
Yeah.
I think you did.
Yeah. It's not a hard sell during the winter months. Come down and enjoy 80 degrees in February.
Well, it's what we call Football Fridays. Obviously, Drew and I aren't averse to talking football, and I want to get into that. I should say right now what the poll question is. We'll get into the CFL stuff, NFL skills, Super Bowl. Our poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center is, will Tom Brady stay retired? Capital Auto Mall has dealerships all across the Canadian prairies and the state of California. Over 80% on Twitter saying Tom will stay retired. Drew, they love him here in South Florida. Hey, what's your circle saying about Tom?
I think I'm going with the majority. I think he's going to stay retired this time. I think he would want to be remembered as close to as that Super Bowl championship Tom Brady version as possible. And he's done everything he could possibly do in the sport. 7 Super Bowls, all the other accolades. So, I'm happy I got to witness it, and I think he'll stay retired.
What a career. Where are you on Tom Brady? And let me preface that by saying, big fan here.
I think it's hard to say he's the greatest of all time, right? Which he's obviously in the discussion. It's like in basketball. You can't say so-and-so Michael Jordan or LeBron James or Kobe Bryant. It's this era, he was the best. He won the most Super Bowls. He has all these other individual stats tied to his name. But yeah, he's got to be one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest.
Well, what would be your metrics for what is the greatest of all time?
I was watching some shows the other day, and they were comparing him to Joe Montana, and Joe Montana had gone to 4 Super Bowls and won all 4. And they were saying, well, Tom Brady went to 10 and only won 7. Only won 7. right?
Winning percentage versus 1,000.
Yeah, you know, it's nitpicking at that point, but you know, it's the guy's a fierce competitor. He has almost as many rings as he does fingers. It's hard to top that. You look at other guys. Joe Montana in his era was, you know, the GOAT of his era. So he's definitely on that Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks.
Our viewers and listeners are being funny. Jennifer from the Four Seasons, which incidentally will host our Super Bowl watch party next Sunday, February 12th, from the Four Seasons Sports Palace. We'll be there. Come down and watch it with us. Jen says only 39 more days to find out. She's referring to, it was 41 days last time when he retired, right? So we'll find out. No, I think he's done too. Randy in Winnipeg says TB12 will work in a front office, but he won't. I can't believe that he's got a job in broadcasting that's going to pay him more than what he got to play.
That's kind of the blueprint that's been laid out. You know, Troy Aikman and Tony Romo. These are the guys that kind of laid the pathway for that, and having another brilliant football mind on the panel, you know, is only going to add to the viewership and the experience that fans at home get to enjoy the games with.
Now we're getting somewhere. Arlen Bruce III has chimed in from Vancouver. You remember AB, you played against him. He says top 3 quarterback free agents. Number 1, Derek Carr. Number 2, Aaron Rodgers. Number 3, Lamar Jackson. Whew. You know, and I feel like to be honest, I feel like it's a disservice to not be talking about the Eagles and the Chiefs today. I understand the game's not for 10 more days, but this is all anybody's talking about, Drew.
Yeah.
Have you noticed?
Yeah, I mean, lots of big names out there. You know, there's always revolving seats and people moving places, and that's the exciting part of the offseason, all the speculation until things happen. But, geez, I tell you, that's a pretty deep 3 right there. Lamar Jackson is something special, and, you know, Aaron Rodgers is still getting it done too, so it'll be interesting to see.
Ryan in Albany, New York says Tampa Bay, TB. Tom Brady was given 325 million reasons by Fox Sports to stay retired. Do you think he regrets coming back here, just as us boys talking? Because look what it did to his life.
It's always hard to speculate. I know the perfect ending is to ride off into the sunset with a championship, and obviously from that standpoint there may be some regret falling short of that, but you know, every player goes through ups and downs and personal things, and I'm not going to speculate or dive into any of that. You know, stuff has become
It is
public.
what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is, and it's just you wish a guy like Tom Brady had that championship and rode off into the sunset, but at the same time, I think if he did win another one, he'd want to come back and
win another one.
Because like Dwayne Mandrusiak always told us, the best championship is the next one. I think Tom might have said that too. But, you know, it's tough not to be greedy in those situations.
D-Rock asks, who watches every day? You got to get him down here, Drew. Dwayne Mandrusiak has mentioned the Hall of Fame equipment manager of the Edmonton Eskimos. What did he leave with? 10 or 11 rings? Do you know?
It was one of the two, and every training camp he would say the same thing: be greedy. You know, the best one is the next one, and to be greedy. And you know, that was a pretty strong message.
Well, we're racing. My mind's racing with all kinds of thoughts here. AB just said Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, Derek Carr. We'll get to that. But you want to talk about the greatest quarterback of all time? There's a minute and a half to go in the game. You're down 5. Who do you want directing your offense? You can pick anybody. That would tell me who the best of all time is.
Right, and for me, my probably Brady. I mean, it's hard to top that number of comebacks, but I mean, you got such a wide field to choose from. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning. I mean, there's a ton of guys that were clutch when it came to those pressure moments. So, you know, if I were picking, I'd take Tom.
Me too. And I don't normally like playing the what-if game. I know it's very popular on sports talk shows and certainly sitting around in the bar, but I guess that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll talk about that. Now, the guy won a Grey Cup with both Jason Maas and Ricky Ray in double overtime. I want to talk to you about the new head coach of the Alouettes in a moment. But Ricky Ray, for one, I had a friend ask me why Ricky hasn't gotten into coaching or really, like, he's still enjoying retirement life. I don't know if you talked to him, but he's there in Northern California. He's loving life.
Yeah.
Does that surprise you?
Not at all. I mean, if I had to guess what Ricky would be doing, he'd be out on the golf course enjoying himself, have some, some business dealings on the side that are making him money while he gets the golf, and he deserves it. He put in a ton of years, lots of championships, great cup appearances and everything else. So, he should be enjoying every bit of retirement.
Well, and he's family time, and not just with his wife and kids, but he had mentioned when he was on this show with his dad and just stuff that he missed out on.
Yeah,
clearly he was a competitor. He was like Tom Brady in a way.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, and it's, for a lot of guys, it's a year-round thing, so you do miss out a lot of anniversaries, birthday parties, weddings, all of those types of events. So, when retirement comes, I'm sure a lot of people want to catch up on them and give more time to those types of things.
Because you won a Grey Cup with Edmonton, and forgive me, what were your seasons there?
What were
your years?
So that was my second year with Edmonton.
So you were 04 to
04 to 11.
11.
Yeah.
I think we covered this last time you were on, but I'm going to ask you again because I forgot. What did you think when you learned Ricky Ray was traded to the Toronto Argonauts? What was your first thought?
Well, I was still there, and and I was in shock, right? Like this is like, once, I don't want to say once in a generation, but once every 10, 15 years, something this monumental, a trade of this magnitude comes along, and we just kind of looked at it and sulked over it, I guess you could say, for a day. And then after that, it was like, all right, well, we got the guys here, and we're going to find a way to rally around the guys who are here and make it work.
And it did. Temporarily.
Not for me personally, because that was the same year I got released.
The end of it,
but,
yeah.
The only thing that stays the same is change, and in the CFL, you should
get used to change.
Yeah, you make your rounds, and change is a constant. But Ricky was a huge surprise.
Cole in Victoria, BC says, "Hi, Rod. What are your sources saying about Brady coming to the CFL?" LOL. Dude, you don't even want to know. You don't. Because I know something. And I checked with my guy this week, and I said, can I say something? It'd be a great time to drop this. And the guy literally said, he's probably watching right now, and he's a South Florida guy. This was the day Tom retired. He goes, this is Tom's day. Let Tom have his retirement thing. Something's afloat. Okay? Football community down here. Are you hearing anything about Tom's future, the CFL, anything like that?
Not at all. Not at all. Again, it's everybody's going to have their guesses and speculations and everything, and your information's a lot more accurate than anything I could conjure up. But I don't know. I think Tom deserves a rest and he deserves some time off.
Just saying, something's afloat. Stay tuned. I'd like to be the one to break the story. Cole in Victoria says there's no way he would ever come up north. Stay tuned. By the way, you notice all the viewers and listeners are from the north where it's cold. You've noticed that, right?
I see a pattern there, yeah.
A definite pattern. How closely are you following the CFL carousel, I guess, of coaches and players as free agency is about to start in 10 days?
So it's neat because a lot of the guys I played with are now in the coaching ranks, and you mentioned Jason Moss, Orlando Steinauer, and all these other guys that I either played with, finished just before me, or were young coaches when I was playing. So it's neat to see and keep up with them from that perspective. I think everybody that I did play with is now long gone. I think Calvin McCarty might have been the last of the group of guys that I did play with. But yeah, it's still neat to see the air games, down here on ESPN until the NFL kicks up. So it's nice to be able to watch a game.
Well, the other thing, though, and I don't know how closely you're staying to it? I mean, what you're seeing in the media and what's actually going on are two vastly different things. Always has been.
Sure.
Right? And you just kind of bite your lip and go, that's not right. Like, for instance, Trevor Harris hasn't signed yet in Montreal. Jason was on, you watched the interview, he was on here saying they want him. What I hear is the ownership situation so rocky, he can't get the money confirmed just to offer him a deal. And that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm just shooting the bunk here. You know that.
Yeah. So that's the tricky part about the CFL is the contracts and how they're kind of structured and everything else. And, you know, guys are going to continue to do what's best for them. And they should. You know, they got to look out for themselves and their longevity and securing themselves for years to come. So, you know, I'm sure at the end of the day, everybody wants to make it work and they'll find a way to make it work.
But I don't think fans will ever understand that it's not about football or hockey. It's about money. It almost always is about money. You're a businessman. You understand that. Like, for instance, if the Alouettes haven't been able to put together an offer, maybe that's why Trevor's hasn't signed yet.
Sure.
And everybody's thinking, oh, he doesn't want to go back to Montreal. He wants to test free agency. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just seems to me like Trevor was on this show last week. I think he understands the best place for him probably would be Montreal. But if money's holding it up, that's all that I'm saying. But the fans don't see the money end of it, right? They all want to talk about the football reasons for why he hasn't signed or where he may go.
Lots of layers to it. Lots of different things that go into making these kinds of decisions. And, you know, players have such a finite window, such a small window to play and at the top of their game as well, right? Where they deserve top dollar and that sort of thing. So, you know, it's always best for the players, from my experience, to kind of proceed with caution and take things slow.
Yeah. You know, we have 2 minutes left in this segment, but they say the team you first cheered for, you'll always love. In your case, was it Hamilton? Being from Stony Creek?
Yeah, so I grew up going to Ticat games. And
that's what I wondered. So where are they in the Elks in your heart? What's the split?
Well, it was always special going back and playing in Hamilton and seeing friends and family there. You know, I have more of an affiliation with the Edmonton Elks now, and you know, but it doesn't take away from my memories growing up with Hamilton.
I'm really not trying to put you on the spot, but I'll say if they met in the Grey Cup, who are you cheering for?
Oh, Edmonton.
Okay, well, that settles it. So what are your thoughts under year 2 in the Chris Jones regime?
You know, I think they have a great staff. They got great minds there. G. Roy Simon's on as the assistant GM there, and he's a great football mind. The president of the club now, everything is pointing in a good direction. And, you know, turnarounds like that take time. You know, nothing's going to happen overnight. But I'm excited to see what they do in year 2, and I just hope everyone's patient enough to give them the time and the chance to turn things around. Because it doesn't happen overnight. Like, that's a big change that's going to happen. 2 biggest swear words in sports: patience and rebuild. Sure, absolutely. Those are the 2 ones people won't accept. Yeah. Right? But, you know, it's necessary, and I think Chris and his staff are the people you want there to take them back into that winning direction. The very bright, well-spoken Andrew Nowacki is with us for one more segment. And then Mark Gundry joins us. He is a Jones guy, interestingly enough. You're going to want to hear his story. He's come all the way down from Port St. Lucie, Florida, to chat ball with us a little later on in hour 2. We're live from the Beach House in Pompano Beach, Florida. We'll return in a moment on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and the radio, 99.1 WQEE.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
winning all around. Something everyone can love.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. Great news, factory credits are back. That means massive savings on every new vehicle. Take advantage of up to $7,000 in discounts on all remaining new 2022 F-150s. And rates are as low as 1.99% OAC. Looking for a used vehicle? You gotta check out our all makes, all models inventory. Plus, don't pay for 90 days on all new and used vehicles. There's never been a better time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. CapitalFordLincoln.com.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
You are looking at FLA Live Arena tonight, the skills competition, 7 p.m. on ESPN and Sportsnet. Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m., the All-Star Game 3-on-3 tournament on ABC and Sportsnet. And Andrew Nowacki is with us. We got questions for him from the audience. We'll get to those in a second. But I want to ask you this. As a baller that you are, how do you feel about the NFL Pro Bowl going to a skills competition? The NHL with what the focus, I had a option of skills or the game. Pick the skills. That's me. How are you on what the leagues are doing now?
Well, just with the NHL skills competition, I remember growing up and watching that all the time. The slap shot contest and the accuracy, the speed contest. Those are always fun. And just like with the NBA All-Star Game, people want to see the dunk contest and that. For football, it's a little harder. I'm glad they moved away from the game because it was just a liability.
Yeah.
Right. It was a liability for these guys, and I'm glad they got away from it, trying to do something fun. Whether this sticks or not, we'll see.
What is the buzz? You mentioned seeing people on the street wearing NHL jerseys and so forth. In hour one, I said my friends here now kind of have an idea something's going on, but they have no clue what a skills competition is. How about your circle of friends? They're aware?
Yeah, I got a handful of friends that have season tickets that go to the Panthers games regularly. Obviously not as mainstream as going to Heat games and that sort of thing, but no, it's always fun when an event like this comes into town, and it brings a lot of attention and energy and gets people excited about it. So I think a lot of people that aren't necessarily hockey fans are going to be interested and be watching and want to go see it.
You're tuned into the RP Show live on the Game Plus television network across all 10 Canadian provinces, 31 states. We're live on WQEE Radio, 99.1 FM, and live streaming on YouTube for those that are into that. From the audience, as I mentioned, JT writes in and says, hi, 15 more days to XFL kickoff. Will you be following?
Yeah, as a fan of football, it's going to be interesting to see how year 2 of the USFL does and the XFL. And, there's just so many guys out there that aren't playing in the NFL and the CFL. It'll be interesting to see, one, how they coordinate it, how they put it together, and then obviously the product they put on the field.
And, of course, they got the USFL playing now, too. Again, I don't know if you're talking to your football people, but from what I understand, it's made a significant headache for CFL GMs and scouts trying to get Americans up there.
Sure.
Right.
It's more competition, right? So there's more options for guys who may be wanting to stay closer to home, but it's like with anything, more competition, the better I think things will end up being. It'll force everybody to up their game a little bit.
I do want to talk Super Bowl and a little bit of these free agents in the NFL in a moment, but Oleg in Winnipeg has a really good question. He goes, I got a simple question. Why is an all-star game necessary? I say bring back the Canada Cup. You need Oleg to go back and read my commentary from today at rodpeterson.com that runs on Sask Radio. And what we talked about last hour with Rich Sutter, it's not about the game. It's about the marketing. This week here in South Florida, nobody's even really talking about the game. You said it yourself, the beach festivities, Rich said it, the alumni game, the exhibits, that's what it's about.
Everything surrounding the actual game.
Yeah, it's not about the game.
Yeah, I think, I don't want to say the game takes a back seat, but it is an event, a production, and everything else around the game. So without the game, you don't have all this other stuff to do and enjoy and all the attention that it brings to the league and the game itself.
It's introducing the NHL to a segment of society that didn't even really know what it was. I know Canadians have a very hard time believing, right, that not everybody down here would be an NHL fan.
Right. Yeah.
That's a fact.
Absolute fact. And, it's like when you turn on you got to search for an NHL game sometimes down here. It's the baseball, basketball, football is on constant replay. But yeah, it's a great introduction, a great way to get people excited and familiarized with hockey a little bit more.
I need you to speak on behalf of CFL alumni, or even current players, if you will, because I spent 20 years in the league, but I never played that sport. Hockey was mine. If they pulled together, how many guys on a flag football team?
Oh, I don't know. Let's say 7.
Okay, so for a whole roster, 20 to 25? Would you have played in a flag football game, an all-star game, when you were a current CFL star?
Well,
say it's the off season. Hey, Drew, we're doing this thing here. It's a marketing game.
Two things. I was never a CFL star.
Come on.
And two, it's such the off season is all about taking care of yourself and getting ready. And you hear these horror stories of guys, getting hurt in certain ways. So, especially for CFL players, if there isn't a compensation to it, and your health for the upcoming year, I think across any league, you gotta look at it and have some sort of reservation towards it. And that even goes as high as guys playing in World Cups or world competitions away from their club teams, facing that possibility of injury and putting their contract in jeopardy with their.
It's a fact.
Yeah,
and it's a sad fact. But I just wonder, you're not that removed from Canada. Would it even draw a crowd to watch CFL alumni play in a flag game? Again, Coral Springs rink was jammed.
Right. And
for the hockey.
I can't speak to hockey because I never played competitively growing up, but I think the drop-off of football players after they're done playing is pretty severe. You see a few guys that are an exception to the rule, your TOs that are in their 40s running, 40-yard sprints and great times and stuff. But for the majority of us, I think we kind of fall off. So I don't know if it'd be that entertaining to watch a bunch of retired football players play.
Well, again, the hockey game was a wreck game. They weren't setting any speed records out there. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I know. I get it. I get it. And the CFL's in a pun up to off-season marketing, staying public. I don't know what they need to do. Now, to that NFL thing, what's interesting, Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens quarterback for now, is from here. Like here. Yeah, Pompano Beach. I asked my guy Thad, the manager here, if he ever comes in. He's like, who? But Thad's a hockey fan. Thad is a hockey fan. Is it making waves, his potential free agency here, around here?
I mean, and the few people I know, and I'm not in the football community, but yeah, I mean, you'd love to see a guy come back to his hometown and suit up. Obviously, you know, the Dolphins have their own quarterback situation going on, but you know, it's always neat to see a guy come back, especially of Lamar's caliber, to be able to come back and play for his home team.
Do you think that's a possibility? Like, I don't know if you listen to sports radio in this town. I had to turn it off, and to be honest, I brought my satellite radio here, so I listened to NHL radio because I can't listen to who's going to back up Tua all day, every day.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
Again, everyone's going to speculate and everything else.
Yeah.
I think the Dolphins got a great thing going on, and they got some great people in that organization. Whoever they do bring in, I think they saw this year it's you know, a need to have somebody quality behind Tua, and not to take anything away from those guys that they had backing them up, but you know, like I said, it's always a revolving door. People are going to play musical chairs, and that's the exciting part of the offseason.
Well, and to flip that around for a little bit, like, and it is a football Friday. We're in South Florida, and we've covered the CFL stuff, so I will talk a little bit about the NFL leading up to a Super Bowl chat here in a second. But they almost beat the Bills.
Yeah.
With a third-string quarterback.
Sure.
You know, it's not because Tua that they lost.
No, and you know, Miami went up there and played a great game, a great defensive game. Their defense stepped up big time, and you know, things were stacked up against them. They had to do a lot of things right and have a lot of things go their way, and a lot of things did, and that's why it was so close as it was. You know, it just gives the team and the organization a lot of hope for, you know, years to come.
Well, and just, sorry, forgive me for asking this, but I got a wide receiver here. I got to ask you, you obviously watched the game. Jalen Waddle's drops in the first quarter added up to, I'm told, almost 100 yards. How are you on 2 drops in the first costing a team that mightily in a game? I think it could.
Yeah, you never know. You never know the butterfly effect from one play. And, you know, how many plays are there on each side? You know, 100, 150, 160 plays in a game. So it's hard to say 1 or 2 drops in the first quarter is going to have an effect on the rest of the game. But, you know, there's always those 4 or 5 impact plays that a game comes down to, those game-breaking plays. So any play could be one of those plays, but you know, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, those are some special guys and some real exciting guys for us to watch.
It's interesting, by the way, talking with Rich Sutter last hour on the hockey end. When you're making that amount of money, you got to make the play.
Yeah.
You're expected to. And when I say that, that just means the pressure gets ratcheted up on that individual player, right? Exponentially.
Sure. But that's why they're in that position. Because they do perform, they do deliver. You know, drops happen just like interceptions happen, punts happen, or letting go in hockey. That kind of stuff happens, and it's the great ones that rebound back from it, and that's something Jalen did the rest of that game.
Darren in Salt Lake City says there are plenty of football players in the States to fill up the USFL and XFL rosters. They are only playing at the same time for about 2 weeks. That's fair. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing from the football people, that it's causing them problems. I got got to ask you this. I know guys that played in both leagues, and you probably know more. And I know guys that came up and played in Canada, specifically Nate Davis. I don't mind you could have played against Nate, the big dog, 98 for the Riders, Hall of Famer. Play with the Cowboys, man. Like, he was a low. He came up and goes, they take it way too seriously down there, man. I'm just up here to have fun. He was serious about that. There's a lot of guys not having fun in the NFL. The paycheck's fun. The rest really isn't.
Well, from what I know and what I hear, you know, you're on the clock, you're on their time, you do everything how they say, how they want, and
don't step out of line.
Yeah, or else it's next man up. So, you know, when there's only so many positions available, you follow orders, and you know, you don't take that stuff for granted because it's over before you know it.
Yeah, absolutely. Andrew, anything else you want to mention? Thank you, Rod. This guy's really looking after me, man. I got to get him some cash after this show. When our guests meet each other. Look at that. Mark Gundry's in the house. He's coming up next. He's a Chris Jones guy. You're going to want to hear this.
All right.
Drew,
yeah, stick around.
Anything to mention before we let you go?
No, I'm excited for All-Star Weekend. We're going to watch it, and you know, it's just another. I'm glad the weather is perfect for it too, because like I said, the beach is packed and there's a great energy in town for it.
This is the hottest day since we've been doing shows at the Beach House, and we've done a lot. It was causing some problems with the equipment off the start, but we're good. And just mention, if you don't mind, what you're doing down here, and if people want to maybe look at some properties in the area. It's a pretty cool gig. Yeah, down here doing residential real estate in South Florida. So Miami-Dade, Broward County, all the way up to West Palm. I'm located in Fort Lauderdale, so got a ton of Canadians that come down, people from the Northeast here in Pompano, Fort Lauderdale. So yeah, if anybody's interested, looking, you know, look me up. I'm sure some of the information's up on the show. Yeah, absolutely. All his info is on there on social media. Very easy guy to get a hold of. Drew, thanks for coming down, man. Appreciate it. Glad talking ball with you. Mark Gundry joins us next. It is a Football Friday live from the Beach House, Pompano Beach, Florida, on Game Plus TV. YouTube Live and WQEE 99.1 FM.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. Great news, factory credits are back. That means massive savings on every new vehicle. We have over 100 GMC Sierras available, and they're all priced to move. Looking for a used vehicle? You gotta check out our all makes, all models, GM certified pre-owned inventory. Plus, don't pay for 90 days on all new and used vehicles. There's never been a better time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. CapitalGMC.ca.
Shake
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
All right. You are looking live at FLA Live Arena. That is the place to be tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and Sportsnet. The skills competition, Saturday, 3 p.m. on ABC. The 3-on-3 All-Star Tournament gets rolling. But it is a football Friday, and I'm excited to bring in Mark Gundry. You got your hair cut for this, brother. I can tell. You got it cut just for this.
Rod, you're important, man.
Yeah,
you're very
I appreciate it. You thought it was
I'm
radio.
honored to be on the show. I love talking to you and football and being in this beautiful paradise that we're in right now. God
Isn't
is
it?
good. Things are amazing.
Never gets old.
Blessed to be here, my friend.
This guy, I'm blessed to have you down here. Blessed to open our eyes today, Mark. And
Yes,
I heard we met in Bradenton, Florida, Ryder Camp. He's a Chris Jones guy, and I know it piqued a lot of people's interest. Oh, Jones? Because you know what a polarizing figure he is.
Chris is very forward.
Forwarding,
very,
did you say?
Very forward. He's a
Forwarding thinking?
Yes, sir. Very forward thinking, defensive-minded guy. I loved learning the things that I learned from him and making the relationships that I've made via Chris. Chris is a great guy.
Yeah, and as I say, Mark's a football guy, business guy, marketing guy, and came down from Port St. Lucie, Florida for this. So I enjoyed you. I love when my guests mingle like I just witnessed. You, Rich Sutter, and Andrew Nowacki.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
all just chatting in a circle.
Yeah.
That's what this is. What makes this job fun. And you were saying how you got to know
It's
Jones.
the relationships. It's the relationships that you build and the things that you forge with the people that you meet. You may have met them years ago, and they are still strong in your life with something that you have happened, with everything that I have had going on in my life, with everything from whole life to players' health to everything that I've got going on. And then meeting up with you and seeing you at the hockey game, and oh my gosh. It's all God. God is amazing.
There's no everything happens for a reason.
Oh my gosh, yes, sir.
But the Jones, you were mentioning that you were a player agent.
Yes, sir. I started as a player agent with Chris, and I was just giving him good players, and we created a relationship based on trust, and that's how those relationships are formed in football, that carry on through. And everything that I had told Chris was I's dotted and T's crossed, and we kept ourselves on a 100% professional level, and those relationships were all forged, and I gained a lot of knowledge. It was amazing.
Oh, I'll tell you something. I've been covered football a long time, but when Jones was putting on those free agent camps down here, just watching them, not just on the field, off the field, it's a thing. It's a Swiss watch. Do you want to explain how a CFL free agent walk-on camp works? His are a little different than most, but just overall.
So guys are going to fill out a form. They're going to come. They're going to do all of their position drills. They're going to do the 40s. They're going to do the L drills. And you really see it. Out of all the group of guys that you would have there, the one guy sticks out. You really do. And the more and more that I went and learned and watched Chris and all of his crew do what they do, you could really see there's a method to the madness, and those guys stuck out that were it factor players. Definitely they stick out. You could see them on the field when they do their one-on-ones. They're breaking away. They're making guys look bad. I mean, you could definitely see it. But they bring guys in, they work them out, they get an opportunity to go up and see if they can earn themselves a spot.
Well, and they're going on right now.
Yep.
All over America. And I know the hardcore fans, they follow the team's social media channels. They see the teams are advertising them.
Right.
Fort Lauderdale, Dallas, San Diego, whatever. They go on all over America. But what I found real interesting, and I wonder if you saw this, was you mentioned the guys filled out a form. Who is sitting at that table receiving the form?
Chris
Jones.
Chris Jones is right there. He's at the camp. He's pushing the clock. He's watching the lines. He's giving you a 40 time based on a gentleman's broad jump. That is unbelievable if you ask me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, but
Incredible.
the thing is, I don't know how familiar you are with CFL personalities over the years. You would probably remember a guy by the name of Gary Echeverry because he coached for years. And Etch, who I don't think ever worked with Jones, said to me, he goes, this guy, Jones, has the best personnel Rolodex system in the game. And I'm like, how? And that's how I learned this. Jones is signing those guys in. Hundreds of players at every camp. He remembers everyone because he wants to know in his head.
Oh, he remembers everything in his head. He remembers the size, the number, the hand span. Chris remembers.
Look at him in the eye, the handshake, everything.
Everything.
So that's why Echeverry was saying, how many players do you think Chris Jones meets every weekend all across America, and he remembers them? And that's the thing. And yeah, you have something on that?
No, you're right. No, he does. And he's got a knack for it. He's got a knack for it.
He's doing the right thing, yeah.
He really does. Whatever people think of the aspects of Chris Jones, he's a great dude, and he knows what he's doing. He knows how to get the job done.
Well, you saying that brings up my next question. I find it hilarious that he's mostly hated where he's been, and I examined why. It's similar to what Rich Sutter said last hour. I know you're not a hockey guy, but his brother is like Jones in a way, very stern in front of the media, not warm, but people don't like it.
Right.
And I said to Jones, why don't you show the other side of you to the media and the fans? He said, I don't want to. Don't have time. Whatever. Right?
That's such a Chris answer.
That's what he said.
Rod, I love it.
He's like,
that's a Chris
I don't
answer.
have time. So, but I think that, but why would you not like him? I think the only reason they don't like him is A, he's not afraid to cut guys, fan favorites, and 2, he doesn't stay anywhere too long. So the fans really, if they were to even start to welcome him, he's gone. Now he says he's going to be in Edmonton long term, and I don't know why. How many times you need to be burned to think it's not going to happen? But he's going into year 2,
right?
So there's no reason to think he's not going to stay.
I think Chris will get all the kinks worked out first season and getting things ironed out and coming into personnel changes and all sorts of stuff and different kind of coaching changes and however he goes about it. He's a very smart man. He will definitely get it ironed out. His defense will end up being ironclad. They normally are. He is definitely a defensive.
History shows he'll turn it around.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember when he was defensive coordinator with the Toronto Argonauts. This was the first time I ever remember sending him stuff, and Murphy and all them guys were there.
Oleg is watching in Winnipeg, and he says, don't mean to be hurtful, but the best Jones in Edmonton is former Blue Bomber Paul Jones. Yeah, well, he's with Saskatchewan now, so he's not even in Edmonton anymore. So I guess you could say Chris Jones is the best Jones in Edmonton. By the way, you mentioned you represented players. What is it about Florida? Because I get he says, here's the speed.
Absolutely. They train in the sand. They run in the sand.
That's the only reason.
Those guys run in the sand, and I'll tell you what, when you train on the beach and you train in the sand like those guys do, getting in and out of their breaks and things like that, when you put it on turf, it's another demon. Those guys are flying.
Not every player can train in sand.
Not everyone. Not everyone.
So, but you just noticed, because we're signing day? When does it start? It's like next week?
It is next week.
It's right around now.
The date, oh my gosh.
It's fine.
It is right around the corner.
But the state of Florida has more 5A, what do you want to say, recruits, signees of any state in America.
Sure. Good friend of mine, Terry Kirby, his son just signed with University of Virginia. And Terry Kirby was a Florida native down here in Weston, Miami Dolphin alum. And his son is now going to his alma mater where he holds numerous records with the University of Virginia.
So how'd you get started in this? Oh, we're running out of time on this. You know what? We'll pause and we'll come back for one more. Now you know what Mark does. Then we'll talk about whole life, too.
Absolutely.
When you
Let's
come
go.
back. All right.
Yeah.
It's a Football Friday, and we are in it live from the Beach House in Pompano Beach, Florida, on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and on the radio, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902 518 3033.
Got a son, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. Great news, factory credits are back. That means massive savings on every new vehicle. We have over 100 GMC Sierras available, and they're all priced to move. Looking for a used vehicle? You gotta check out our all makes, all models, GM certified pre-owned inventory. Plus, don't pay for 90 days on all new and used vehicles. There's never been a better time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. CapitalGMC.ca.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
One more time. That's the place to be tonight. FLA Live Arena. Skills competition for the NHL All-Star Weekend, 7 p.m., ESPN and Sportsnet. And then in that arena there, left side of the screen, on ABC Saturday at 3 p.m. and Sportsnet is the All-Star Game Tournament, 3-on-3. Mark Gundry's with us, and I introduced you and have been saying all week, a football guy. That would be accurate?
Absolutely.
You're okay with that?
Absolutely.
Okay, before we get into some of these CF penalties and some of the people that you wanted to discuss, you had some shout-outs you wanted to drop?
Well, now that I'm doing stuff with cornhole and got inducted in the Guinness Book of World Records last year with cornhole, Saskatchewan Cornhole League, gonna be sending you guys some gear, some whole life gear. You guys are awesome. I love seeing it up there. Another shout-out. I just love what the ACL in Canada is doing. ACL Canada, rock on. Let's keep going.
Oh, there you go.
Appreciate it, everybody.
Okay.
And Cornhole Solutions. Those are the main manufacturer in North America of everything you need cornhole-wise, and they are the premier spot to find the Whole Life series.
Well, what's interesting, so just hashtag Whole Life is really all you need to know.
Absolutely.
But is not South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, the national championships there for cornhole? Chris
No.
Jones' hometown. Why are they synonymous with cornhole?
So we have the Worlds of ACL is actually in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and that is where I set the Guinness World Record, was at the Worlds last year. And South Tennessee, South Pittsburgh, in that Murfreesboro area, all that area right there is a mecca for, it really is. It's just exploded.
Oh, and we're back. Sorry, I thought we lost you. We're back. Okay, and now you were talking about Mike O'Shea.
O'Shea. Haven't seen O'Shea for a long time, man. O'Shea, if you're out there listening, you're doing great, man. I love seeing what you're doing with the Bombers. Keep. Hope everything's good, my friend.
Well, again, for those that just tuned in, Mark, former player agent, and you represent players and that kind of thing, right? And marketing aspect.
I did. I haven't been doing that for a little while, but I've still stayed in touch with all of the contacts and everything that we have built over the past years.
Right. So we're very big in Winnipeg. Game Plus is carried on Bell MTS cable in the province of Manitoba. So you give the shout out to Mike O'Shea, the Hall of Fame head coach of the Blue Bombers, two-time Grey Cup champion, but just walk it back a little bit. What's your connection to O'Shea?
So, well, I remember meeting O'Shea at the Cup when BC was there. I was there with Tim Brown when Wally Buono was running the BC Lions. I think it was 2011. Arlen Bruce was on that team. We were up there, and it just made a connection. And it was funny. I told him he looked like Dale Earnhardt Jr. And we both got a chuckle out of that because that was years ago. But anyway, just made a relationship with him there and talked to him, chatted with him a few times. And I know he's not on social media or none of that stuff.
Zero.
But, I'm definitely proud of the way he's doing stuff. And, hey, Mike, keep rocking, man.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. Going to read some questions and comments from the audience. Randy from Winnipeg watching. What I tell you, we're big in Winnipeg. He says, great show. RPShow and warm. LOL. Enjoy the All-Star game, Rod. Have a good weekend, everyone. Thank you. It is going to be fun for sure. Your thoughts on the NFL Pro Bowl, being the football guy that you are, how they've changed it? Because they changed it drastically.
They changed it. Yeah. So it almost reminds me of, you remember when they used to do all the skill back in the day when Montana and Young and all those dudes were there?
Yeah, in the offseason, yeah.
And then they got away from it, and it was just basically them playing a game, that really wasn't a game because they weren't really tackling, and,
Yeah.
Now they flipped it to a flag football game. So I see them taking steps for player safety and player health, which is a company that also was formed by Tyree Burks and myself, Players Health. It's crazy, but they are doing a ton of stuff now within the organization with guys' mental health and keeping players safe and trying to go after newer helmets and newer things. But I think it's interesting how they're bringing the fans back into it.
Explain how you see that.
Well, a lot of more people are going to be tuned in watching the skills events and seeing their favorite players and so on and so forth, especially with it being such a digitized world. Everybody's tuning in, everybody's streaming, everybody's watching what everyone's doing. It's a social media world. So with them putting it out there for people to watch like they hadn't before, I think it'll do well. I think it'll do well. And those guys take a beating all year too. They got 17 weeks. They extended their year, and a lot of those guys, some of them are healing or whatever. But I think it's cool that they get voted and nominated into it and stuff, and
involving the fans,
right? Yeah. And see how it works with a new approach.
From the viewers from the 902 text line, 518-3033, and I apologize for the connection issues, folks, but we only got 4 minutes left. We're getting through it. I think it's working pretty well. Greg is watching in Vernon, BC, and he says the NFL Skills was on TSN last night. It was at the Raiders practice facility. David in Winnipeg,
cool.
With regards to personnel, he says NFL cattle. He's talking about it being a cattle call. That is a fact.
Fair enough.
Right?
Fair enough.
But the players know that.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So they sign up for it.
That's what you signed up for. There's no other way to put that. I don't know how else to put it.
It's harsh, but if you don't like it, don't play.
It's a reality. It is absolutely just a reality. And if you live your life based on facts, then no one will ever stand in your way.
Yeah. Well, I think part of the reason why people in sports love a Tom Brady so much is that the percentage of what he's done, not to win 7 Super Bowls, set records, to be a starting quarterback for that long.
It's incredible. What he did, and it's funny, I heard a comment today, actually coming here to be on the show with you, that one of the gentlemen with New England that was there when he was drafted in the 6th round said to him, "What do you think you bring to this team?" And he said, "I'm going to be the greatest thing this organization's ever seen." Well, I'll be doggone.
Swagger.
Oh, my gosh. Listen, I'm stepping up to the plate knowing whole life's going to be the greatest thing next to sliced bread, and look what Tom did. Listen, I understand power and positivity and power and great people. Kudos to him. Hats off to Tom. What a career. I mean, to do what he did in New England and then flip it and go to Tampa, and I understand that he was able to do a lot of the things he likes to do in Tampa. I mean, it was really cool.
Well, and that's my point. It's not just about winning 7 Super Bowls. Mind-boggling as it is, nobody's ever won more than 5. But to last this long, there's just a small amount of guys that you know their names. You being a football guy, just to even play one game in the NFL is winning the lottery.
Oh, my God.
To play one game.
The NFL stands for not. Amazing blessing that you have, and you should use all of that ability to do something great.
And by the way, the NHL stands for the Never Hungry League, because there's always food around. But that's about it. That's the big difference between the two.
And hitting the 5-hole. You got to love life hitting the 5-hole, them hockey players.
From Perry Shockey is watching on TELUS Channel 924 in Alberta. He says, "You hang with Rich today. I had breakfast with his twin brother, Ronnie, this morning." Good people. Well, this guy's one, Mark Gundry, right here. Absolutely. Thanks to Rich Sutter. Thanks to Andrew Nowacki, our great crew. Enjoy the All-Star festivities, everybody. And we'll see you Monday from the Sweatpants Capital here on Game Plus TV and WQEE.
Who has more fun than us?
Spicy.